Hey everyone, this is Captain Steve Roger from Into the Blue TV. And as soon as I feel a little break from this heat, I know that hunting season is upon us. Actually, the first time I ever went hunting, a buddy took me. Wasn't my father or my grandfather. In fact, I took my father on his very first hunt. Well, Academy Sports and Outdoor Stores has everything to gear up for the field for less. Plus, you can shop a wide selection of ammo, shotguns, deer corn, rifle, feeder, game cameras, camo, and more from the brands you trust. Text Hunt24 to 22369 to take $20 off a $100 purchase when you shop hunting supplies at academy.com. Need a hunting license? Pick it up in store while you're shopping.
Microempreendedor, preparado para se destacar nessa alta temporada de ofertas? Estudo recente revelou que anúncios com apelo visual aumentam até 7 vezes as chances de venda. O Canva, plataforma que democratiza o design, vai te ajudar. Ele conta com inúmeros modelos prontos para editar e outras ferramentas que vão fazer você se sentir especialista no assunto. Quer turbinar suas vendas? Faz bonito com Canva.
Welcome to DSC's Campfires with Larry Weissoon, a unique blend of hunting, fishing, wildlife conservation, and the outdoor lifestyle. DSC's Campfires is brought to you by DSC, Conservation, Education, and Hunter Advocacy. Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable. Taurus, award-winning revolvers and pistols. Stealth Vision, high-tech, precision-driven equipment for the modern hunter. Mossberg, American-built, American-strong. Vineyard Max, deer attractants created for the aroma of success, game feeders, and other innovative hunting products. Red 55 Winery, signature wines from the Emmy Award-winning country artist Miranda Lambert, owned by Rick and Beverly Lambert. The very merriest of Christmases to everybody out there who happens to be listening to this. Truly appreciate you having been with me this past year, and to all those new people who are here, thank you so much for joining us around the campfire every week. I try to, best I can, bring guests occasionally, try to do something on my own, and that's kind of what this is going to be about today. It's Christmas. It's a special time. And to begin with, I wish each and every one of you out there, as I mentioned, the very merriest of Christmases. We've been so very fortunate this past year to have hunted so many different places and been involved with so many great people. And, of course, organizations like Dallas Safari Club, which is just right around the corner with our Outdoor Expo and Convention there January 9th through the 12th at the World Congress Center in Atlanta, Georgia. Here in about a week or two, I'll be headed that way to try to get there a little bit ahead of time and visit with some people. And of course, I'll be there the entirety of the show and hope to spend a little time at the several different booths, maybe a little bit of time over at the Hornady guys and Stealth Vision. We'll have a booth there as well, too. And who knows where else I might show up on the floor. Don't think I've got a whole lot of duties outside of early in the morning, but other than trying to visit with a lot of folks. And, of course, tell everybody thank you for being there as well, too. If you have a little money that came in from Christmas, you really might consider coming to Atlanta, Georgia, because I'll tell you what, it's going to be an absolutely great event. As I've often said, it's very much like a family reunion of getting to see people that you don't get to see very often and friends that you've made in the past, but also a great opportunity to make new friends and to maybe even do a little bit of dreaming such as I do. I go there and I look at all these fantastic places that I really still want to go to, and it gives me an opportunity to kind of go, okay, this one, okay, this is the place I'm going to go this year, and looking forward to doing that, but also, as I mentioned, looking forward to spending time with great people, with old friends and new friends there as well, too. So if you're giving yourself a Christmas present, that's something you might truly consider. And to learn more, there's still time to be there. And to learn more, you can go to www.biggame.org. Excuse me, that's BIGGAMEORG, biggame.org. So look forward to seeing as many of y'all as possible there. And please come by and visit. If you happen to see me on the floor, don't hesitate. Please just come by and stop by and visit. Want to hear about your latest outdoor adventures, whether having to do something with hunting this past year, years past, or even some of the fishing trips that you might have gone on, because there are going to be a lot of those kind of guys there as well, too, to offer you some of the finest fishing in the world. And, of course, the best equipment that money can buy, and the best equipment at an economical price as well, too. A lot of those folks will be there with their booths, and then, of course, all the different outfitters that I look forward to visiting with every year. And just such a great, great event that, as I said, if you need another Christmas present, one that you want to give to yourself, I think that would be the place to do it right there, because you might just find that gun that you've been looking for, or that new Stealth Vision scope that you've been dreaming about, and a whole lot of other great things to look at there. And there's something there for everybody. I don't care whether you're an outdoor person, whether you hunt, fish, don't do either of those, just love the outdoors. You're going to have a great time there. And it's also a perfect place to take your family, because there's all kinds of great things to see and people to visit with. Things to do as well, too, for anybody that, as I mentioned, that loves the outdoors, regardless of whether you're a man, woman, or a 3-year-old, or a 2-year-old, or a year-old, or 103 or 104, we'll have something there for you to enjoy and have a great time with. Christmases in the past usually meant to me an opportunity when I was growing up that I was actually going to get to go hunting several days in a row without having to go to school. Our hunts back then were a little bit different than they are now. We hunted hard, hunted out of stands. Usually the stands were 2x4 nailed in the fork of a tree somewhere, rather than the elaborate stands that we see these days. But oh my gosh, were they great fun. And I knew that I was going to be able to get to hunt more than maybe a weekend. So that was really important to me as far as the school holidays that we had during Christmas. Once my daughters got to come along, that meant that I was going to be able to take them hunting somewhere during the Christmas holidays. Back then I worked a bunch of ranches as a wildlife biologist and had the opportunity to at least take my kids on doe hunts and some management buck hunts and those kind of things. Then when they started having kids of their own, my grandkids, all 4 grandsons, and my granddaughter, I actually shot their first deer sitting on my knees in a deer blind. Sometimes it was an old barn, sometimes it was just a bunch of logs pulled together. And just like with my daughters, same thing. They learned about hunting. They learned about how to take an animal apart, and they also learned how to cook that animal when it's all said and done. And in the process, they gained great respect for hunting, great respect for the outdoors, and the outdoor lifestyle as well, too. And all of them still enjoy it, thankfully. And we tried to instill that within them when they were very small, and it's worked. It's really worked. I've got a great-grandson and a great-granddaughter coming along now, and first opportunity I get once they get to be about 4, 5, 6 years of age, I'm going to take them hunting and fishing with me as well, and try to, within them, instill that love of the outdoors and an understanding why hunting and fishing is so very important to all of us, particularly from the habitat to the wildlife that's there, but also for our own very well-being. Those days of taking those boys hunting used to the last part of, as they just about started off to college, and even the first year or so of college with some of them, used to take them out to the FDW ranch to go out there and put them through the FDW's shooting schools, and thankfully through the grace of Tim Fallon and his crew, and they too taught those boys and my granddaughter a tremendous amount when it came to shooting, when it came to hunting, when it came to life itself. And I think when you get right down to it, they're responsible for the fact that one of my twin grandsons is now a pilot and been a combat drone pilot in the Air Force. And the other one, my youngest grandson, became a sniper with the Army Rangers on the airborne side of it. So I know that those guys out there at the FTW, like Doug Pritchard particularly, had a huge influence, as did Tim Fallon. And appreciate them doing that those years and allowing me to spend time there with their families, but also with my own. And oh my gosh, those memories that will be never forgotten, either by them or me. And I got a feeling they're going to be telling their kids and their great grandkids later on when those arrive about how they spent time with their granddad hunting back when they were young and learning how to shoot on the FTW ranch. Fabulous place. This day and time, I'm looking forward to actually spending a little bit of time at home with my family during the Christmas holidays. It's been an extremely busy fall with hunts and business dealings going on. Of course, the business dealings all have revolved around something having to do with hunting in the outdoor world. I've spent a lot of time with the Stealth Vision guys this past year and the Vineyard Max guys and a few others, and really learned their product a little bit better. And learning is a big part of going hunting. To me, every time you go out in the field, if you keep an open mind, you're going to learn something. You're going to see things that you haven't seen before. And so once I get past the Christmas holidays, we're going to be doing a little bit of hunting with Luke Clayton up in North Texas, and then the Cotton family, and then headed off to the DSC convention for a great time out there. And then after that, as I've mentioned in the past, going on a Coues deer hunt down, or Cows deer, depending on how you pronounce Elliot Coues' last name or Elliot Cows' last name. And we'll be doing that down in Durango, and then back to whitetail deer for the rest of the hunting season. The rest of the hunting season being because we have properties that I work with that are under managed land deer permit that Texas does. I'm going to be able to get to hunt all the way to the end of February and be field testing a few more guns, a crossbow that I recently got, a 10-point crossbow, and be shooting some of my Taurus handguns as well too. Still got a few more bucks to take and a whole bunch of does, and the does I'm taking primarily will come either from the Cotton Ranch, but particularly on my lease that I have out west of San Angelo away. You've heard me talk a little bit about the fillery that grows out there. It's a little low-growing plant. Some people call it a weed or a forb. It's green on top and red on the bottom. Kind of a really cool little plant that deer just absolutely love. And of course, it's got the right Christmas colors as well, too, going on out there right now because of that. But going to be putting a bunch of that venison in the freezer. And then, too, I have a tendency to provide venison not only for our family and my daughters in certain respects and their families and now grandkids, but also a few people here around the area where I live who can't really eat a whole lot of red meat other than venison just because of the cholesterol. So we'll do our best to make a few Christmas presents and late Christmas presents as well too of some of the venison that we're going to be taking a little bit later on as we get into January and February. But this is about Christmas and the great time. You know, we need to remember that Christmas starts with Christ and then MAS. It's not Xmas. It's not seasonal holiday or any of those other things as far as I'm concerned. It all comes down to the birth of Christ and how important that is to all of us when you get right down to it. Don't ever forget that that's why we celebrate Christmas, is because of the birth of Jesus Christ. So keep that in mind when you're having those great times coming up here this next several days around the Christmas holiday. And I will call it a holiday there because a lot of us are having a few days off and taking some time with our family and going to be spending a lot of time with family and friends these next few days. So a lot of good things ahead. Thank you again for joining me this past year from last Christmas to this one. And the last thing I'll say is, although it's been said many times, many days, Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas, everybody. See you right back here next week. DSC's Campfires has also been brought to you by the Crown Bar in LaGrange, Texas, Texas Wildlife Association, Habit, Our Gear, Your Adventure, Double Nickel Taxidermy, and Burnham Brothers Game Calls.